I have had time to think about the Kate Middleton appearance, and I believe that that is not Kate Middleton. What I think it is a double with hologram projection technology on top, and I will explain why. Because we have no independent footage of her other than from the royal family, so the establishment, so from British intelligence. It is known that William had a meeting with British intelligence. I believe this is hologram technology, and this is why the footage only comes from one source, and so this cannot be trusted at all. And this is how I think they did it, is that they've got a double. Now you notice that all the film footage of her is very blurred. Just a few shots at the end where you can see her face on the balcony. And I think that this was doctored by this hologram technology, and that you had a double in her place. That is what I think. And I think Kate Middleton died months ago. And I still think that. Because they're still saying that there is a risk that we will not see her anymore. Now, what's the problems with her appearance is that, as I say, this difference between the blurred video footage, people are already seeing faults in the footage, like feet disappearing and glitches in her face. There is a very odd scene where she strokes the hair of the little girl. This is before they're going, and it looks a bit, her face looks a bit CGI at that moment. It looks a bit Star Wars. And she looks younger. So you wouldn't expect a woman who is under cancer treatment to have no visible signs and actually look younger when she reappears. And it also looks like she's had lots of plastic surgery. Now that could be an alternative theory, which I will explain. But what I think is that it is a double, and they've projected hologram technology. This is the top technology of the military, and this is why we only see distant shots and we only have one source of information. So you cannot take this appearance as being credible, because you have no independent photos, because she was at a distance all the time. And we have here a photo of William. It doesn't show Kate. And what I believe will happen is they will announce the death of Kate at a later time, and this will prove that that what I'm saying is true in this video. And it's all symbolic. So here we have Kate Middleton in 2022, the Queen's Jubilee birthday parade, and we see the trooping of the guard, and we see Kate Middleton, and she's wearing a similar costume. They easily could have got footage from this and projected it onto a double. And in this footage there is actually a UFO, which I've made a video about. So they could have taken footage of her from this appearance and used it with this hologram technology. Because here she looks a bit younger, a bit more like the footage. I do not take photographs, the photographs they showed, seriously, as those can be easily doctored. Now, she was wearing a dress similar to Audrey Hepburn in the film My Fair Lady. Audrey Hepburn attended the Red Shield Party, Surrealist Party, where it showed her in a birdcage, showing that she was under MK Ultra. The royal family are part of a satanic cult. So who rules them is a coven of Masonic witches. Now you may think that is nuts, but it's actually true when you examine the evidence. And it all goes back to John Dee, who was the founder of British Intelligence number 007, and he was the first man to come up with the term the British Empire. And in the plot of Rosemary's Baby, she gives the baby up to a satanic cult. This is showing you that a satanic cult, Dark Forces, runs Britain, and it's connected to Freemasonry. So Audrey Hepburn with the birdcage, Red Shields Party, which was, I think, designed by Salvador Dali, showing you that this is all mind control, and that you have to be in a mind control cult to join these people. Now the plot of My Fair Lady is that a working class Cockney girl wants to become married to an aristocrat. So similar to the story of Kate Middleton, although she's not a commoner. She is a goldsmith married to William, who is a goldsmith also. Now, there is also the possibility that Kate Middleton was related to a writer called Thomas Middleton, who wrote a play called The Witches, and then Shakespeare took that part and put it in Macbeth. And Thomas Middleton now is credited as one of the secret writers of Macbeth. Now, was she sacrificed in some kind of Hecate ritual? Now, in that book, Macbeth, It relates to William, as William was born of caesarean birth. And he was born at the sun, when the sun was most high on the solstice. His mother was Diana. Memorials are associated with Isis. The Paris Memorial is associated with Isis, has the flame of the Statue of Liberty. Paris is named after Isis. All her memorials are based on Isis and the moon goddess. And that William is some kind of messianic figure for the Freemasons in their new age. And I believe it will be kicked off by a big event. As I've said, La Palma or something like that. Now, back to Kate Middleton. I believe this is all, when you join the royal family, at that level, you're joining a cult, and she's not truly part of that higher society, and so she's been done in, brown bread. And it's all connected to mind control. Here is hologram technology where the Pope disappears. There he goes, he disappears. Now I believe they've been using this for years. And by now they've got technology which is far greater. You can see it with the ABBA musical, where you have all these ABBA projected as real people. And so if you think that is times the 100, that's what the military have, and that's what I believe they've done. It's used this hologram technology on a double. That is what I think they've done. And it all connects to William Shakespeare. As I've said, the first man to get it was called William Shakespeare. You shake it before you spear it. Stratford-upon-Avon MP was the Tsar. That's MP for Shakespeare. Stratford-upon-Avon is where Shakespeare was from. Tsar means Caesar. Shakespeare wrote a play called Julius Caesar. It's all connected to Trump. Now here we have a painting by Edwin Landseer. It's called A Midsummer's Night Dream. And in Midsummer, 1717, Midsummer, was the official creation of Freemasonry. The play by Shakespeare is about spells and mind control. How you can alter perceptions of people through mind control, through magic. And we have this character called Bottom, who is turned into an ass. And the story comes from an earlier story by a Roman writer called Apelles, called The Golden Ass or The Metamorphosis. And that book is about the cult of Isis. Lucifer, illumination. But to get to illumination, you have to go through satanic rituals. And that is how I think Freemasonry works. And they believe in a dualistic aspect to reality, and the synthesis is Lucifer of the duality. And then man steps up further up the ladder towards being God. This promise of being God. Now, this painting was Queen Victoria's favourite painting. Edwin Landseer is a famous painter of animals. He sculpted the 4 lions in Trafalgar Square, which is a big obelisk, Nelson's column. Now, Lewis Carroll saw this painting and he created Alice in Wonderland based on this painting. You can see you have the white rabbits. It is all about mind control and Freemasonry and spells and witchcraft, and it is all a cult. And that is what's happened to Kate Middleton. And we see this here in the I Pet Goat 2 film. We can see the Masonic Floor and Alice in Wonderland. This is all connected to Freemasonry. And as I said, this film seems to predict the future. And this is connected to Kate Middleton, because Kate Middleton, I believe, is no longer with us. And Lewis Carroll was part of a ring which involved the British Prime Minister in high society. So here is Kate Middleton in 2022. Now, an alternative theory is that that was Kate Middleton, for real, but she's had extreme plastic surgery. It is possible that she went into a coma after having plastic surgery, and that this is all a fabrication. That is the other hypothesis which I'm thinking about. But I think you will not see Kate Middleton again in public, where the public can take independent photographs of her. I believe she is brown bread. And this is holographic technology mixed with a body double, and this they can fake. So that's what I believe has happened. That what you're seeing is a double and holographic technology. Thank you.